Hello, welcome to Community Roundup, powered by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. This is the show we look at nonprofits, charitable organizations, sports programs that make Fort St. John an area such a remarkable place to live. My name is Ed Hitchens, and of course, I am your host. And today we're learning more about the Fort St. John Film Society. We're joined by Zoë Adamson. Zoe, nice to see you. How you doing today?
I am great. How are you?
Well, I'm not doing too bad. So, for people who don't know, tell us a little bit more about the kind of overview of the Fort St. John Film Society, what types of events and what types of different things that you do over the course of a year.
Okay. So we try to bring in independent films to Fort St. John for one night, usually every other Monday. We're there for the one night at 7 p.m. at the local Landmark Theater. Our seasons usually run September to December, and then January to May. And we alternate Mondays, bringing in different films. We started off only bringing in like 3 or 4 movies a year, and now we're up to like 13 or 16 a year. So,
all right. So, is there a kind of criteria that these films have to meet before you screen them for the society?
So we are given a distribution list through the Toronto International Film Festival, and we pick from the list that they've provided. The members of our board usually narrow it down to about a short list or a long list, and then the short list is kind of picked by the community and people that attend the movies.
Okay, so is there a preference given to Canadian films? Is there a preference given to international films? Can you give us the lay of the land in that regard?
The TIFF usually has quite a few Canadian films. We try to pick films that we know will bring people in. Movies with kind of those big stars that you see in more blockbuster films, but are doing some more indie stuff. We found that movies with subtitles don't bring in as large an audience, which is quite upsetting because those are usually some of the better films, in my opinion. But we just kind of see what's available each season and kind of go from there.
Okay, so how is the governance of the Film Society structured? You talked about a board. Give us the lay of the land about that for somebody who wouldn't know.
Okay, so we're a nonprofit. We have kind of a head and a treasurer. I run the social media and do stuff like that. We have an AGM every August, usually, where we kind of just vote in that board and kind of just check to see that everything's on the up and up. But the biggest way that people in the community can kind of join and support is just coming to the films and participating in that aspect.
Do these films cost some money to come in and view them?
Yes, so it's a $15 ticket for every movie, and then we also sell flex passes, which get you into 5 movies for $65. So it's a little bit of a deal, and just kind of shows us that you're interested in coming to more than just one film.
Okay, so give us an example of what kind of films that you have offered over the years.
So we've offered some actually pretty big Oscar winners. A couple years ago, we showed The Whale with Brendan Fraser, which went on to win quite a few Oscars. Just this past few weeks ago, we showed a movie called The Drive Back Home, which is a Canadian film with Alan Cumming, who's quite a well-known British or Scottish actor, actually. And he's in Canada, and him and his brother are going on this road trip back from Toronto to New Brunswick. So
Alan Cumming, if I'm not mistaken, that he played Nightcrawler in the X-Men films, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. All right. So tell us what type of eclectic crowd comes out to each film. Is it usually the same crowd? Are there different film goers? Let us know about that.
It's, we have our usual suspects that, are tried and true and coming to every movie with their flex passes. Depending on the film, we do see some new faces, and it's nice to kind of see them start to come more and more and more. We try to pick films that will cater to like a broad audience. They're usually not like kid friendly, but that's kind of who's there. It'd be great to see more people. I think post-COVID, a lot of people tended to rely on streaming services to watch movies. And we noticed our numbers drop significantly even after restrictions were lifted, just with people opting to watch at home instead of kind of enjoying the atmosphere of a movie theater.
Is that a challenge for the Film Society?
It's
Trying to keep people within the crowds to screen these films with the overlighting, I guess, juggernaut of streaming?
Yes, it is a major issue. It's something that we really have to look at when we're picking films about whether or not they're available on streaming, what production company has released them, if they're affiliated with a streaming company, and kind of juggling picking the dates that a film will be showed versus when it might be available on streaming, and trying to just cover all our bases in that aspect. And it's really upsetting because I think that it's such a different experience to watch a movie at home versus watching it in a theater where you have your popcorn and your candy and your drink, and maybe it's a bit of a social outing for you and some friends. I've always enjoyed that kind of aspect of, I get there pretty early and I like to watch people kind of funnel in and maybe eavesdrop on a few conversations.
It's always a different experience, I think, to go see a film, especially, I think, going back to when I was a child. That was one of the biggest thrills, so to speak, of my childhood, to go to a film on like a Friday night, and as you're saying, being social and seeing those faces that you might not normally see in a theater. Tell me about when the Film Society was started.
I actually had to get clarification on this morning. We have been around for approximately 25 years.
Oh, wow.
If rumor serves correct, we actually originally were screening in the Lido prior to Landmark being opened. And then I'm not sure when we made the move to the Landmark Theater, but we've been there for quite a few years now. So we've been around for a while, and it'd be great to kind of see it continue on with some new faces coming.
What was the kind of cinematic fan experience like back then? In, I think, was that 1999, 2000, something like that?
I'm not sure. I wasn't around then in Fort St. John. I'm sure people who've lived in Fort St. John for a long time have very fond memories of the Lido before all the seats were taken out and all of that stuff. So it's definitely different. I can't really attest to or talk about what that experience would have been like, but it's been great having it kind of in a local area. And it's fun to see even people coming who have plans to go see, that blockbuster hit that the theater's showing, and get drawn in by our banner out front and opt to go see a independent film instead of whatever they were originally planning on seeing.
Okay, so tell me about the kind of ambiance that the people that do come to the screenings. What kind of crowd do you see every screening?
Everyone kind of comes in. It's very fun to be in a movie where everyone is kind of there to see. No one usually knows a whole lot about it, and it's kind of, we're all just jumping in all together. As people funnel in, there's some little side commentary made, even if you don't know the person. But did you watch the trailer? What is this about? Do you know anything? And a lot of the time, people are like, no, it's just Film Society Monday, and this is what I do, and we're gonna see a movie, and it might be good and might be bad, and see what happens. It's an experience.
Yeah. Does the society ongoers have a say in what's brought here?
So like I said, the board will kind of come up with a long list, and then we will post usually to Facebook the long list and have people message or email with kind of their top 10 picks, and we'll tally up and make sure that we're bringing stuff that people want to see.
Okay, so how many films did you guys screen last year?
Last year, I believe we screened about 14 in the calendar year. And yeah, so we have a winter season and a fall season.
Okay, so go into the different kind of films that you might see in the winter season as opposed to the fall season.
I have a preference to our winter season. I think we have a larger list to pick from in the winter season, and our winter season runs longer than our fall season. So it's got a little bit more variety there. There's usually not a huge difference in like the types of films. Lately, there's been a lot of World War II films, I've noticed.
Historical dramas.
Historical dramas,
okay.
Yeah. Our first movie of this winter season was Blitz, which is a Saoirse Ronan film about London during World War II during the Blitzkrieg bombings, and that was really well done. And in the fall, we showed an Anthony Hopkins film about a man who worked really hard to get Jewish children out of Germany during the rise of Hitler. So some historical dramas there. There's comedies. There's some romance movies. There's usually a foreign film or two with subtitles, and I really encourage people to not be discouraged by a little bit of reading during a film.
I think that is a genuine pet peeve of some people to not have to watch a film and have to read about it. But some of the best films I think I've watched are ones that I couldn't understand without the subtitles. So.
Yes, I think Parasite being one that I think about a lot, which is one that we brought. It was a foreign film that ended up winning Best Picture at the Oscars quite a few years ago, but it was subtitled because it wasn't spoken in English, and it ended up being fantastic. And I think if you can kind of get past those few inches of text, your world opens up.
Yeah, one of my favorite films growing up was Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Oh, yes.
So there's that. So I think subtitles are always I guess vital to a film's experience. Okay, so if somebody wants to know more information about Film Society, where can they go? Where can they go for more information, to get flex passes, to just know what you're screening?
Yeah, Facebook, our Facebook page, the Fort St. John Film Society, has most of that information. You can message us if you have any questions. Flex passes and just one show passes are bought kind of day of. Our lovely treasure is usually out front of the theater, that little desk area, around 6:15 before a showing, and she'll help you with that. We're cash only, which is a bit of a hindrance to some people, but it's worth it, I promise. That stop to the ATM is worth it. Yeah, that's kind of where you can find us. Our next movie is on the 24th. It is called Small Things Like These, starring Cillian Murphy, who is another Oscar winner. And it's about a small town in Ireland in the 80s, and Cillian Murphy's character discovers a bit of a hidden secret in the local church there. So I think it'll be very good.
Sounds interesting.
Yes.
All right, that's all the questions I have.
Awesome.
Zoe, once again, thank you very much for the time. This has been Ed Hitchens for Energeticcity.ca for the Community Roundup. Once again, the Community Roundup is brought to you by Brad's Furniture and Appliances. And if you like what you see and you want to see some more content, click that like and subscribe button. We'll see you next time.